Once you find yourself in conflict with a narcissist, it's a virtual guarantee they're going to start playing head games with you. That's why I put together a new course. It's very extensive called Anger Games. I'm going to teach you how to manage anger and conflict with a narcissist. There's a link below that's going to show you how to register, and I hope that you find it to be very insightful. Through the years, as a therapist, I have spoken with a lot of people. When I say a lot, I mean a lot. A lot of people who would struggle with disappointment, and sometimes disappointment on a very grand scale. One of the reasons that I remained in my practice of psychotherapy for 40 years, one of the reasons that I bring the lessons to you that I do here on video is because I know that there's a lot of hurt, there's a lot of pain, there's a lot of disillusionment that you can feel because individuals that you hoped that you could place your loyalty with and goodness with let you down. And they wound up becoming somebody that you didn't know they were, or they did not live up to the hype, so to speak. And there are so many individuals who have had disappointing, and rightly so, disappointing feelings and responses to individuals, but that disappointment winds up taking them so far down the path into negativity that it causes a certain amount of cynicism to just camp out. And when that happens, my concern for those who are in that place, and it might be you, my concern is when you go all the way into full cynicism towards life, then that means the narcissist is won. And frankly, I don't want that to happen. I want to be a voice of hope and reason. Let me give you an idea of what I'm talking about. I mean, I've spoken with individuals who will say, well, I watch other individuals as they interact with people inside their extended family, whether it's their adult kids or siblings or parents or whoever, and they seem to get along really well. But I don't have that privilege inside my family. You should hear my stories, and my family has completely been blown up and it's fallen apart. Or I've heard individuals talk about, let's say, a friendship that started out really positive, but then over time a dark side emerged. And that friend that they thought was had their arm of encouragement around them wound up becoming a traitor. Or I had individuals who will talk about making attempts to smooth over rough spots with individuals, whether it's at work or in other organizations, only to find that those people that they had been connected with turned out to be spiteful and running smear campaigns against them. I've talked with people who said, well, I was at a funeral of somebody that I love very much, and I had certain individuals make the funeral process miserable. I mean, there's so many different possibilities where you have disappointment, and then you have reason to feel even stronger disappointment. And it's possible for these individuals who go down that path to start asking the question, who in this world can I count on? You know, what's going on with individuals when I find out they're just phonies? You know, how am I supposed to respond when I feel like I've been used? And then you may have thoughts that say something to the effect of, you know, I try as hard as I can to contribute positively to my relationships, but I get such a low return on my investment. What's that all about? Or in my life, I prioritize loyalty. I prioritize reliability. When's it my turn to get some of that in reverse? Ever thought that? Or you can use that huge phrase that so many people use at a time like this. I can't believe that the person that I trusted is just nothing more than a liar. I can't believe that I've lost access to my grandchildren. I can't believe I've lost money. I can't believe that the friendships that I once held dear turned out to be some of the biggest heartache that I've ever experienced. And then you can think, you know, after all the efforts that I have made to try to be a decent person, the other individual's anger, the other individual's interest has taken over, and that's what I'm left with. It's easy for you, if you've been exposed to someone who has strong narcissistic tendencies, to say, I don't just feel disappointed. It's more than that. I have a hurt, I have a pain, I have a confusion, I have a disillusionment. And then it goes all the way into that place of cynicism. I know that there are many of you that feel that way, and I don't fault you one bit for having the emotion. But let's take a look at what we're talking about when we refer to that emotion of cynicism. When we refer to having a sense of cynicism, we're talking about having a loss of hope, yes. We're talking about having a loss of trust in another individual's integrity. We're talking about having a deep distrust in people's motives in general. We're talking about you having an utter weariness due to the dishonesty of individuals that you had hoped were going to be more loyal and honest to you. We're talking about sometimes taking the pain that you experience with one group or several individuals and then appropriating that pain to many other individuals who are not part of the equation. In other words, I've had a relationship with men or with women or politicians or these groups over here, and I hate every one of them, and I don't want anybody else to be in my life. You take it and generalize it to anybody and everybody. When we talk about cynicism, we're talking about allowing your own critical and negative thoughts to take over your personality. And then we're talking about having a sense of angry detachment from people in the world in general. You have an angry refusal to hope. That's what cynicism is. And see, I remind you, there's a part of you that doesn't want to be this way, and there's certainly a part of you that feels this way legitimately. But when you go all the way down to that place of cynicism, again, I'm going to reiterate, the narcissist wins. The narcissist has taken over. Is that what you want? Now, see, let's take a little further examination of this. When you are struggling with the kind of emotion that I'm describing here, basically, it's your defense mechanism at work. You're going into a mindset that says, I don't want to hurt again. And so you allow yourself to just fall into all or nothing thinking. Since certain people have let me down, you know what? Probably everybody's going to let me down. And you allow yourself in your defense of yourself to go into that kind of mindset. In cynicism, you're actually attempting to take your power back. It's kind of like, well, if I can declare people no good, my own self first, and I take the initiative of saying that, then when they prove to be no good, then it doesn't hurt quite as bad. But it's an odd way of trying to feel like you've got a power. Well, since I already know it, then what's new? In addition, sometimes your cynicism is just a part of what I would call a hangover effect of abuse and trauma that you've experienced, and you don't know what to do with that. And it could be trauma from your own childhood, and now you're an adult and you're thinking, yeah, it's continuing. Or it may be that you've been in a marriage or a significant relationship and that went south, and it's like, I don't want to have to go through the pain that I went through. Or maybe you've been stung by the legal system. Maybe you've been stung in religious organizations. And it's like, you know what? I've had so much hurt and pain. I don't want to put myself in a position of having that possibility again. And I understand that. And it ultimately means that your sense of judgment, you've felt judged, but then now your sense of judgment has taken hold of who you are. And it's like, well, now I'm going to become the judge, and I'm coming down pretty hard on people. So I'm wanting us to ask, how can you take the disappointments and the hurts and the frustrations that you've had without allowing it to turn into full-on cynicism? Well, I've got a few thoughts for you here. First, as you examine some of the pain and some of the frustrations that you have experienced, do give yourself permission to feel the pain that's there. We're not going to say the pain is wrong. Of course it's right for you to feel pain when somebody has inflicted hurt on you. And minimizing that pain only feeds the possibility for you to have more of it later on. So let's accept the fact that pain exists. But beyond that, I'm hoping you can learn to distinguish cynicism from skepticism. Cynicism or skepticism is actually a good thing. It means that you're trying to weigh things out and trying to figure out, what's healthy and what's not healthy, what's good for me and what's not good for me. Cynicism means you're doing that, but with a hard pessimism already established before you come to terms with what you're really dealing with. In addition, and this is a big one because remember I mentioned that sometimes people that are in cynicism make broad generalizations. Be willing to examine each person or each circumstances in front of you uniquely. Not, for example, if you've had a bad relationship, not every man in your life is going to be an awful human being. Or if you've been in an organization that has certain beliefs, not everybody who has those beliefs is going to be an awful, rotten human being. And so make sure that you still allow individuals to be measured on their own individual distinct merits. And then in addition, and this is huge, remind yourself there's a very tight link between cynicism and then the emotion of hatred. Do you want to be a person that's eaten up with hatred? Do you want to be a person that's eaten up with resentment and cynicism? And then beyond that, I'm hoping you can ask yourself, where is my disappointed feelings trying to take me? And I'm hoping you can see that it's taking you towards better alternatives. The reason you hurt, I hope, is because it's like, well, I want to believe in love. I want to believe that there are decent individuals out there. I want to believe in beauty. I want to believe in joy. Maybe other individuals haven't joined you in that, but I'm hoping that you can stay committed to those things that you hold dearly and not eliminate them from your life. And then most importantly, as you try to struggle with your disappointments to keep you from being cynical, I want you to ask, do I want to include myself in the list of people that I don't trust? In other words, nobody out there is good and I don't even trust me anymore. I'm hoping you can think, you know what? I'm a learner. I'm somebody who can see the things that are in front of me that are not good. And I can be the kind of person that says, starting with me, somebody in my world is going to stand for the things that are right and decent and good. That's why I like to refer to the folks that work with me here on this channel as Team Healthy. And that's why I talk about standing in dignity and respect and civility. My notion is there's enough negativity in the world that if you want, you can always focus on that. But I'm hoping you can decide that I do want to stay attached to decency, starting with myself. As long as you believe in yourself and in your recovery capabilities, you can still have hope. You can get away from that disappointment, and you don't have to be anchored down in cynicism. Now, I hope that if you've not already subscribed to the channel, that you can hit that subscribe button. I'm going to keep more videos coming towards you. Sometimes when you're dealing with something like this, it's good for you to receive some therapy. I've been sponsored for years by the people at BetterHelp.com. It's an online resource. There's a link below that will take you to a whole team of licensed professional therapists, and they're basically going to want to say, let's talk about this. How did you get to this place? Let's understand what's going on. Let me see if I can walk you through. It can be so refreshing to know that there are individuals like myself and others who are dedicated to this profession and say, I'm doing this because I love doing it and I love people, and I hope that you can avail yourself to the assistance that would be there for you. Please get the help if that's the need that you have. In addition, I've taken my experiences and I've turned them into courses. I'm no longer in my counseling practice, but my courses consist of at least 25 teaching videos per course. And then along with each video, I have handouts and guided questions, and I'm wanting to take you into a healing kind of direction. My most recent one is called Anger Games. I have, which has become quite popular. I have This Is Me, which was another popular one about setting boundaries. Free to Be, Ready, Set, Connect. These are all on my website, along with my webinars, which are 90-minute presentations, a little bit different nature, many articles, access to my podcast, my books. So we have lots of resources. I ache when I know that other people are aching, and I wish that I could make it go away. We can work on it, and we can certainly work on you being one of the good guys, so to speak, where you're thinking, well, I'm not going to take someone's negativity and make it central to my personality. I don't want you to do that. I want you to learn to say, I still believe in me. I believe in decent individuals, starting with myself. And in doing so, I'm hoping you can actually become a person of peace.